Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the NSPPD Disease Toolkit. It's a fresh episode. I have in the last few weeks been bombarded by different opinions. Some were happy that this is being done, others feel I might be getting myself too much in the spotlight. But like I said in the introductory episode, the essence of this is to widen the reach, make more people amenable to the prophecies that they receive. And going forward, I've just recently listened to a couple of the early morning sessions, and I have picked on a few diagnoses that I want to quickly talk about. Remember, my name is Dr. Giobira. I'm a GP with a special interest in YouTube. So over the last week's prayer sessions, we had a diagnosis of pulmonary stenosis.
The Lord is uprooting every pulmonary stenosis, pulmonary stenosis, pulmonary stenosis. Let it be reversed.
It was put out there for someone to claim. Now, pulmonary stenosis is a heart condition. It is usually born with, so you don't kind of acquire it as you get older. You have that disease, some pick it up with heart sounds that are abnormal earlier on in life. And what it means is that there's a narrowing of the blood vessels leading to the lungs away from the heart. Now, the symptoms you usually get with this will be difficulty breathing, some fatigue, chest pain in many cases. And just to know, this is more often seen in blacks. For testing, ECG, which is like putting some sticky stuff on your chest and having the electrical rhythm of your heart, is done. Chest X-ray also necessary, and then the echo, which looks at the structure, like the compartments of your heart in a machine, and we'll see where the narrowing exactly is. A few other tests that can be done. So if you've picked on the word, you had pulmonary stenosis, you've got trouble with your heart, irregular heart rhythm, which has been probably picked by your doctor earlier, you're having difficulty in breathing, you have a chest pain, do get this test done, get your diagnosis, claim your word, match both of them, and move on. That's the only reason why this is being broken down in simpler words. And then we had a diagnosis of thalassemia.
Thalassemia, by the mercies of God, I announce, let it be reversed.
Thalassemia is a blood disorder. It is an inherited condition, which means parents pass it to their children, and it keeps going down. It is a situation where the body isn't able to produce the right red blood cells, and there can be a major one and a minor one. In most cases, it comes with some tiredness, shortness of breath again, palpitations, pale skin, some yellowness of the eyes and the skin. And this thing can also be found on testing at birth, in places where they test kids on delivery, or in pregnancy where they do some prenatal blood tests. Again, this condition can affect the liver, affect the thyroid gland, causes a higher risk of diabetes, and it can cause delayed puberty. Managing it would usually require blood transfusion in many cases, and then you could also have a bone marrow transplant. There are also some newer medicines which are being tried. Now, if you had the word thalassemia, receive your healing, reversal, it might be you if you've got a blood trouble, you've got some yellowness of your eyes, your skin is pale, and perhaps you know someone in your family or your parents or some of your siblings have got this diagnosis, thalassemia. It might be you, just that you have not gotten yourself properly tested. So moving on quite quickly.
Alzheimer's disease, Alzheimer's disease, Alzheimer's disease. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar.
The next prophecy that we're going to be looking at again is Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's is a memory disease. It is a gradual, very progressive degeneration of the brain cells. And what we have with Alzheimer's is that there's a decline in mental function. It comes on as people get older, although there's an early onset version of the disease. There is a family history of this, so it can be seen among family members or older population in the family. Depression, which has not been treated, or undiagnosed depression, puts you at a higher risk of Alzheimer's, and having a heart problem also puts you at a higher risk. Now, the signs are usually profound. You find that the person is being transformed from their personality. They start to get aggressive, they start to forget things, they start to mismanage money, planning is an extremely impossible task for them. And you see that this person also might be hallucinating. So this is where it gets a bit tricky for Nigerians or Africans. When people start to hallucinate, we think, all right, they are possessed, evil spirits are speaking through their mouths. Now, this is not always the case. In Alzheimer's, people show this range of deviations from normal, and hallucination, both auditory and visual, isn't unusual. So if you have a relative or you have parents who are seeming to become a different character than what you used to know them as, have you considered the possibility of Alzheimer's? It's in the same family with dementia, and you might want to arrange a brain scan for one. You might also want to provide accessories that can help them keep their brain more functional, things to do, some puzzles to continue to task their brain in the little way they can. Support is key for Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, it's a life-limiting disease. It may not ever go away, but it can gradually decline the quality of your life. So put the support there, some nurses, some carers, give them as much aid. Do not make fun of them, and certainly realize at this point that this is not your enemies at work. This is not people trying to send mental illness or madness to your family. So when all this have been put in place, remember again, if you've had Alzheimer's, reversal of Alzheimer's, turning around, it might be your relative, it might be you, it might be someone who is close to you who's got this word but has not got a diagnosis. That word was exactly meant for you, and you can put your faith to action.
Peripheral Neuropathy, Peripheral Neuropathy, let it reverse.
So going forward, the last bit I want to talk about on this episode would be the peripheral neuropathy. Now, the last time we spoke about something, I think it was autonomic neuropathy or something like that. Peripheral neuropathy, neuro usually means nerves, and it means that there is trouble with the nerves, and it usually shows symptoms on the hands, on the feet, and on the arms. Now, in most cases, what is happening is that the nerves leaving from the central spine get under a bit of compression. It might be pushed by some change in postures or some form of narrowing and impingement on the nerves. And the symptoms you get with this are the usual pins and needles. Now, in Igbo language, they will say, Doctor, ona stuff like that. Now, these are the nerves complaining. So a burning sensation, numbness, paresthesia as it's called in the medical lingo, or if you've got some sweatiness, constipation where it becomes autonomic, and just a dysfunction of a certain area of your body feeling unlike the other bits. That's peripheral neuropathy at work. Some of the causes we can easily find. Some of them could be due to excessive alcohol. So do the history. Have you taken loads of alcohol over the years? Low vitamin B12 can be a cause as well. And then you can find that people who've got thyroid issues, and this puts you at a high risk, or if you're diabetic, you're also at a high risk of developing some of these neuropathies. Now, management is a bit more complicated, especially in Africa, but people who can assess this can get some nerve conduction studies done. They can get some testing of the nerves in that particular patch of skin where it's abnormal. And if it does show that there's a problem, then clearly management will be looking at reversing the causes if we know them, or going forward, pain tablets that are specific to nerve pain. So, peripheral neuropathy, you've heard the word, you've got the symptoms, you've not matched it with the diagnosis. It is what I've just described. Pick on the words, playback. That's the beauty of this. All of these are online, so you can play back on the particular episode of the prayer sessions that you may have picked on that word. Play it back, pick on your words. You can always reverse your words, harvest the prophecy that is meant for you, and use it to achieve the goals that you're putting on the table. So, this is Dr. Giobio. I repeat again, I am a GP. I've got a special interest in YouTube, and my focus, my goal at this point is to expand the horizon for people who are at this point symptomatic with diseases, listening for a miracle, but have not matched the diagnosis that have been put out there. So you match the boats. Put your comments in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. There are loads of people who are out there who may not be getting the rewards that they deserve, even though they are being faithful in following the programs. So put it out there, share, and let your friends and family enjoy of the benefit of this simplistic language. Thank you so much, and speak to you shortly. Bye.